Welcome back to another episode of How Many Shares. Today we're talking about ticker PBR. This is a petroleum company based out of Brazil, and we're talking about it because it has a 71% dividend yield. Now, I know a lot of people are going to immediately be turned off by that, and I'm kind of with you, but let's talk about the stock nonetheless. There are some good things about this company, and that yield is pretty phenomenal. Now, looking at this stock, it's paying about $1.90 a quarter, so we're going to cut it down to see how much you would need to make a quarter, technically to be making $500 a month in dividends. Now, for ticker PBR, it is extremely low compared to when you're talking about some lower yielding other high market cap stocks. So there's just a lot to unpack with this company. When you look at oil and what you think the future of oil is, especially oil in South America, there's a lot that goes into that as well. I have a full 5-minute DD video on this one in the 5-minute DD playlist for you guys to go check out and see if this is something that you'd like to see. I do a bit of a deeper dive. I am going to talk about their dividend history, but I'm not going to talk about the company overall. Now we can see they're paying almost $2 quarterly, and it's only about $10.70 right now. Now, if we look at their chart over the last couple of months, it's been a little bit rocky. If we go to the 1 year, they are actually down 31%. But on the 5 year, from the plummet of the pandemic, they were actually up pretty high and are now up over 120%. With the 52-week low of $8.88, we're pretty close to that, and that dividend yield is still extremely high. But let's talk about that dividend history. So when we jump into their dividend history, we see over the last couple of years, it's been spotty at best. Moving all over. 1 year it paid higher, 1 year it paid lower. These are the actual quarterly amounts, and it's just ugly. We can see it has been growing, but still bouncing around quite a bit. Now, if we go down here, we can see that in 2021, they paid a 30-cent dividend, a 61-cent, and then $1.13. Now, in 2022, they've been paying a lot higher, $1.17, $1.40, $2.60, and $1.30 with that. Looks like it was a special dividend. So this company's dividend history is sporadic, it is inconsistent, and this is not one that I would suggest people who are relying on that dividend income consistently to survive. I would not recommend this one. That being said, this is not financial advice, guys. If you want to throw some money into this and see what happens, be my guest. I do not currently own this company, but I do think it is pretty phenomenal how little amount of money you would need to make a lot of money in dividends. And let's jump over to our dividend calculator and see just how much. So for those that don't know how I do this, this is just a track your dividends dividend calculator. We have our starting principal, which is $8,500 to make $6,000 a year in dividends. That is outrageous. It's too good to be true, without a doubt. And so this, of course, is calculated on the bare minimum of you're putting all of that money in at the beginning of the year, pulling it all out at the end. You're not contributing anything monthly. The dividend yield is staying the same through the entire year. It's not going up, not going down. And the share price is staying stagnant, which we've kind of seen from PBR for a little bit. Actually, it has been increasing over the past couple of years, but still just considering it being stagnant. And the maximum yield percentage. So $8,500 for 1 year with 0 added per month and 0% of a dividend increase will yield 71%, which is $6,035. When you cut that down every quarter, you're going to be getting a little over $1,500. And when you cut that down even more, it's going to be about $500 a month. Absolutely outrageous. I don't think there's another stock I've talked about on here that yields this insanely high of a yield, but there's reasons for that. There are people who love this stock and would die for this stock. I am not one of them. I do think it's crazy how much money you can make on that yield, but with higher yields comes a lot more risk. And I think everyone as investors, that's one thing you will learn if you haven't learned it yet, is that these stocks that are too good to be true typically are. Now, I've said that before, but when we're looking at stocks like Zim, my Zim paid me out. I own 6 shares of Zim. I own 5 shares of Zim, and it was $6 came out per share in the dividend yield for their first quarter. So that paid me $32, and my overall cost was only $100. So I paid $100 at the beginning of the year, and I've made $32 first quarter. If that's on track, I'll make $120 just from the dividends, but there is a caveat with that. You pay about $8 per dividend with foreign taxes. So I have a full video talking about that on my last video on here on the 1K Dividend Account Challenge. If you guys are interested And I would love some feedback from you guys. I've been growing the channel for just a little bit, a couple months, and you guys have responded really greatly. I love the comments. I love people telling me what I need to improve on. And if I make a mistake, please call me out on it. I'm definitely not perfect. I'm here to learn as well as you guys, but I am going to start doing a little bit more editing in my videos and trying to ramp up some production. As well as branching out. I'm going to start talking a little bit about real estate. Now, I don't like talking about things I don't know about, so I did go ahead and buy a house for that purpose. That's a joke. Not exactly for that purpose, but I did buy a house, and there's a lot of information that I wish I had known before, so I'll start talking about that on here too, and hopefully you guys can work with me on improving that, and I can teach you stuff, and you can teach me things as well. As always, if you'd like the video that helped me at a time, drop a comment. If you have to say something negative in the comments, please do it. I would rather have a comment with something I need to work on rather than no comments at all, or comments that are complimenting that don't really mean it. I would really appreciate that. If you guys could subscribe, that would help me out a bunch, and I'm super excited to continue to grow this channel and work with you guys and learn from you guys. As always, I hope you guys had a good day in the market, and I'll see you in the next one.